Hello there, I'm Claire, you're watching Stitch So thank you so much for joining me today for my video all about the sewing challenge So Frugal 24. Now this is a wonderful sewing challenge that is in its 4th year, I believe, and is hosted by the wonderful Sam from Frugalissima and Ruan from the Yorkshire Sew Girl, and the idea is to sew up something frugally. So you pick a piece of fabric from your stash, or if you don't have a stash you could use a bed cover or some curtains or a tablecloth or something that you've got around the house. Pick a free pattern that is available to everybody. You make your item through the month of March and then you post it on Instagram, tagging in Sam and Ruan using that hashtag SewFrugal24 on the 31st of March. Couldn't be more simple. So throughout the month of March there are at least 2 vloggers a day giving you ideas about what you could make for So Frugal. So there's loads and loads of inspiration out there, and yeah, just go and have a look. If you type in that hashtag SewFrugal24 you will find all the ones that have come before me and all the ones that are going to come in the future as well. And if you go over to Sam, who is Frugalissima, on YouTube and Instagram, you will find that she's done a playlist as well, so it's really easy to find all of those. There's lots of wonderful prizes to be won as well. I think they've said there's between about 50 and 60 prizes, so absolutely incredible. So you are in a real chance of winning a prize as well as having hopefully a lovely make that you're super proud of as well, or several makes if you're really getting into it. So what I thought I'd do today is run through several different free trouser patterns that you could use to sew up and make. Now I have picked this because trousers are one of the things that I find more intimidating to make. Patterns that scare me, shall we say. Before I talk about those, I'll just very quickly talk about what I've got on. This is a free pattern, that's why I've put it on today. This is the Paddington top from Peppermint magazine. I made this as a So Frugal make a couple of years ago, I think now. It's one that's in constant rotation in my wardrobe. I really should make another one because I definitely do wear it a lot. It has got a button placket down the back, although it easily goes over your head, so I have just sewn those buttons on and through both bits of fabric. I haven't done the buttonholes, and that's worked absolutely fine and they've stayed on. It's got this lovely sort of wide elasticated cuff. If I remember rightly, I did extend the length of the pattern because it comes up quite cropped, and it tends to be, if I remember rightly, a little bit on the oversized side, so just watch the sizing, but I'm sure there are body measurements and finished body measurements so that you can pick your size accordingly. It's got a great size range on it. Peppermint magazine patterns used to be all free, and they now do an option of pay what you like essentially, but you still can get them for free as well. So definitely one, if you're looking for a top pattern, I could highly recommend this one. Now, as I say, what I'm going to be focusing on today are trouser patterns. So I've got 6 different types of trousers, and then I've got some patterns to kind of go along with those. So the types of patterns, sorry, I've got my notebook because otherwise I'm going to forget. I've got like a wide leg palazzo style trouser, a more tailored trouser, like a leggings or yoga pants, some joggers or tracksuit bottoms, however you like to call them, more of a straight leg, sort of skinny leg trouser, and also a cargo trouser or cargo pant. So hopefully something in there that will appeal to most people. So the first pattern is for like a wide leg palazzo trouser. Would look great in like a viscose fabric, quite flowy, quite or a linen, would be really nice for summer. Are the Louise pants, which is by pattern by Fabric Stores. It is a really lovely, great summer trouser, I suppose, but you could definitely wear them at other times of the year, but I guess that's what they're kind of pitched at. Fabric Store specialise in linen fabrics, so all of their fabric all of their patterns tend to show obviously a linen look, but you don't have to exclusively make them in linen. It comes in a great size range from sort of 0 to 2, I think their size range is, up to 28 to 30, which has a body measurements or hip measurements, if I just give it to you in hips, of 35 to 36 right through to a 56 to 58, so pretty good on size inclusivity. So that's pattern number 1. Pattern number 2 is for a much more tailored trouser, and this is for, again, a fabric store pattern. It is the Sarah pleated trouser, again that same size range of the bottom end of a 0 to 2 up to a 28 to 30, with that hip range of 35 to 36 at the bottom end, up to a 56 to 58 at the top end, or however you like to say that. They've got some lovely sort of pleat details in the front, but without them being really heavy pleated, and I think they would look great as a slightly smarter trouser if you're in an office environment where you want to wear, you know, slightly more tailored look trouser, or if you're going out for an evening, or just that's your vibe of wearing something that's a little smarter, shall we say, then these may well be the trouser for you. Now, along that line of a slightly more tailored approach to it, I've popped in the wide leg pant by Peppermint magazine. Now this is one that will have been talked about several times through this challenge and also in previous years as well. Again, as I say, it's by Peppermint magazine. It is quite a wide leg trouser, but at the top it's really quite a tailored look. There isn't you know, it's got a proper waistband on there, it's got a zip fly, it's, yeah, definitely more of a tailored look at the top and then kind of going down into a wider leg. They have shown it being slightly kind of on a cropped leg. If I was to make this, I definitely would lengthen those, and I know lots of people that have made it in the past have lengthened those trousers. So just be aware of that. If you're looking to make this pattern and you want it to be a full length, you probably are going to need to add some length to those trousers. But yeah, again, they've got a pretty good size range on there. Their sizes are in A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. And it goes from a hip measurement of 33 up to a hip measurement of, I think, 54.5. So not quite as good, but not too bad either. That's body measurements, by the way, rather than finished garment measurements. So moving on to kind of a legging or yoga pant style trouser. Obviously it's not technically a trouser, but I wanted to incorporate some. Now, the Mountain Pose pants. This is a pattern from Hey June Patterns. It's got a lovely kind of crossover band on the front, or you can just do a straight band. I personally would find that those are too low slung for me, so I would increase the rise just to make those a little bit more my style. However, they don't have the best size range. They go from XS to XXL, which is a hip of 36 to 45, so not the most size inclusive. For a much more size inclusive pattern, the Patterns for Pirates peg leg leggings go from an XXS to a 5X, which is a 34 to 35 hip right up to a 62 to 64 hip, so much better in terms of size inclusivity. They are much more of an actual legging rather than a yoga pant, but there's lots and lots of that pattern has been made by lots of different body types, so when you look at the photos attached to that pattern, it really kind of gives you an idea of how they might feel on yourself, which I just think is really, really great. And I really like it when pattern companies do that. You know, it's showing patterns on real bodies. That's just great. Now the next pattern is the what I've classed as the jogger or track pants sort of category, and I've put down the petite stitchery joggers pattern. This goes from an extra small up to a 4X with a hip measurement of 34.5 to 36 up to a 56.5 to 61.5 hip. They also do a kids version of this pattern as well, which again is free, so yeah, you can definitely kind of get your money's worth out of it. And I think that age range on the kids one definitely goes from 2 to 12, but I also think there might be like a tween version of that as well. So if you're not necessarily fitting into the smaller adults version, you might well fit in, there might be a category for that as well. This is a really great classic kind of jogger pattern, got some pockets, looks like it'd be really easy to wear, and a real kind of staple. You could easily use them as a pajama bottom as well, or you know, in a nice fabric. You could easily wear them out of the house and about as well, or just as your kind of throw on for when you get home in the evening, or if you're working from home, etc, etc. I think they'd be great too. The next category I've got is a straight leg pant. This is the Lillian pants by Mood Society, and this is much more of a tailored straight leg trouser, very similar to kind of the Sew Over It ultimate trouser, that sort of look to it. It's got a side zip. It goes from a size 2 to a size 30, which is a hip measurement of 34.5 up to 63. So again, pretty good on the sizing there. They've styled it in kind of a plaid checked fabric, but I think they'd look great in a plain as well. They would be kind of a real kind of staple. You could do them as slightly cropped as well, which would look lovely in the summer as well, with a pair of pumps, etc. Yeah, I think these ones are really cute, and definitely I thought worth a mention. Now the last category is a cargo pant. Now I found this, I wanted to include a cargo pant. They've been quite popular on the high street, etc. They kind of take me back to my teenage years, if I'm honest with you. The cargo pant, it was very, very in during my teenage years, and so I found it quite difficult to find a cargo pant that I liked, but also that was free and had a good size range on it. There was a few that I found that were quite nice in terms of styling, but were very limited in terms of size range, so I didn't want to include those. The one that I did find was, there's several different varieties from Mood Society, but the one that I particularly liked is the Adair cargo pants. Just your classic, you know, cargo pants, got pockets up here, pockets on the legs, etc. I thought that, you know, they look really just your classic cargo really. Again, sizes are really good, a 00 to a 32 with a hip range of 34 up to a 36.5. Again, all of the measurements that I've given have been body measurements rather than garment size, so you're going to know that there's a little bit more room in there, especially on the cargo pants. I'm sure that there is quite a lot of ease, shall we say. So those are the patterns that I've come up with, and now I have to think about whether which ones I'm going to make. Definitely something that I need to think about. I definitely like the idea of the joggers, super simple and really, really wearable, but they're not necessarily a pattern that scares me. I think, if I'm honest with you, I would like to try the Peppermint magazine wide leg pants. I know that it's a bit of a firm favourite in the community, but what I particularly like about them is that they've got that sort of tailored top. Now, I've often found in the past that a wide leg trouser doesn't do much for me, but I think that's often when it's in they're really gathered, and I'm hoping with that sort of quite tailored top to them that they will suit me. If they don't, if I find them too wide, I will just tailor them in a little bit either side. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking about those ones. We will see. I've got a bit of a busy March, so we'll see what we manage to fit in. But I really hope that's given you some inspiration about some of the trouser patterns that are out there. There are definitely lots more out there to be found if you want to do some digging around, but those are the ones that kind of really stood out to me and are ones that I would be interested in making myself. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. As I say, please do check out the other vloggers that are that have been before me and come after me, and yeah, and see what they've got. I've definitely found some great patterns by watching some of the others that have come already. It's amazing how many free patterns are out there. I don't think we're ever going to exhaust the list. Definitely some of them come up a few times, but yeah, there's definitely some gems out there to be found. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what everyone comes up with. If you do want to post anything before the 31st, please do use the hashtag SewFrugal24 WIP, where you can show any kind of sneak peeks or any kind of works in progress, etc. on that hashtag, which will just save that true hashtag for the day of the races, if you like, for the 31st of March. So just all that is left for me to say is just a huge thank you to Ruan and to Sam for organising the sewing challenge, and to all the sponsors that are getting behind it as well, because it just makes it so fun, and to all of you for watching today. So thank you so much, and I will see you again soon. Take care, happy sewing, bye bye.